because it's one thing to chop breakfast or get heartbroken from a relationship that was clearly defined, but it's another level, the level of heartbreak from a relationship that didn't even exist, that you were dating yourself, one-sided relationship. That's a total different thing entirely. Well, you cannot be talking with me every day, several hours on call every day, and then calling me my love and all of that, and then you think I'm not be falling. The lover girl in me is gonna fall. Like, you don't want a relationship with me. Why do you want to keep hanging out with me all the time? Why do you want us to go hang out? Why do you want us to go on dates? Why? And the poor girl will be there, probably say, okay, maybe he's not just ready right now. Let me just hang around. If he's still hanging out with me, if he likes going out with me, probably maybe he's just not in a good place right now to have a relationship. Girl, come on now. Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of Dear Single Christian Girl podcast with me, KB. If this is your first time coming across this face or listening to my voice, if you're listening on an audio platform, girl, you are welcome. Where have you been all my life? I'm so excited to have you join us today, and honestly, find a comfortable place in the house and keep your bags because you're going to be staying with us for good, okay? You're not just a visitor here, you're coming to join the family, okay? And to my returning viewers and family members, how are you guys doing? Like, sincerely, tell me how you're doing. I want to hear from you today, right? And, I love hanging out with you. I love that you'll always come back to listen to me. It's fun and games doing all of these things, but if no one is listening to it, what is it? What does it matter, right? And I'm glad that you always listen, you always engage, you always learn, and you always give me feedback. I appreciate all of you. I sincerely do. And I love all of you, okay? And thank you for always coming back. So today, we are going to be talking about situationships, right? We're talking situationships today. So, this kind of thing that you are more than friends, but less than a relationship. That is what we're talking about today. That is that kind of situation where if somebody asks you clearly, Kelly, is Tom your boyfriend? You cannot say yes, but you cannot also say no, because he in fact is not your boyfriend, but he's not just a friend, right? So you're in this kind of space where you don't know exactly what you guys are, right? I remember this story of one of my friends, right? There's a friend I had years ago, a guy who, this kind of people that are genuinely just sweet. They are so outgoing. They are always giving out hugs to everyone. They're always using pet names. Like, you'll be saying everybody, hey, love, how are you, boo? How are you, baby girl? And stuff like that, right? And genuinely kind, sweet, and outgoing human being. That was how he was, right? Just this butterfly kind of person. And one time there was this girl that they attended the same church, right? That he was really kind to her, sweet to her, called her my love, called her baby, and all of that. And also they talked all the time. They talked often, hung out in church, hung out of church, talked on phone and all of that. And the girl developed feelings for him and was in love with him, and assumed that they were in a relationship, and maybe he was just too shy to say it out, right? And so this guy actually did in fact have a girlfriend, somebody else completely, but the girl lived in a different city, right? So the other girl wasn't really close to them or anything. So one day, this my friend of a guy introduces his actual girlfriend to this said friend. And this girl went bonkers. This girl literally went ballistic. This girl lost it. Oh my God. She literally was so mad, screaming and saying, you've broken my heart. You've broken my heart. We've been in a relationship all this while. What is this about girlfriend? What is this about another person being your girlfriend? She was heartbroken. Honestly, she was so heartbroken. And the guy was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I've never for once asked you to be my girlfriend, have I? She was like, no, you've never asked me to be your girlfriend, but we've been hanging out all the time. We go out to eat together. You call me all the time. You call me my love. You call me... And the girl was like, oh my, I'm so sorry. I didn't intend that. I do that to a lot of other girls, so I didn't I didn't think it was something that you were taking it as something personal. right? And even though he didn't know that, it didn't change the fact that the girl thought like that, right? Over the years, I've heard various variations, right, of this kind of scenario, situationships, that sometimes the person doesn't really know, but it doesn't excuse. And there are some that the people know exactly what they are doing. They know exactly why they're putting you in a situationship. And yeah, so today we're going to address all of it. We're going to talk about how assumptions in relationships are really dangerous. We're going to talk about the what are we conversation and stuff, where and then we're going to talk about the two main kinds of like situationships that I know of, and of course we're going to talk about how to protect your heart, right? So it's going to be really full conversation. And stay with me to the very end, okay? And please make sure you like this video as you're watching it so that YouTube can suggest it to more people and more people get to hear this, okay? And also, if you're not subscribed yet, please do subscribe, share the video with your friends, and so that everybody watches it, okay? Let's get into the meat of the matter or the full gists of the day. Okay. So, why are assumptions so dangerous? A lot of people are in a state of relationship ambiguity, right? A lot of people are in a state of relationship ambiguity where the relationship between two people is unclear or undefined, right? And researchers have actually found out that relationship ambiguity is one of the leading causes of emotional distress in young people, right? And leading to things like anxiety, depression, almost in the same way that that it happens when people actually experience like real heartbreak. In other words, people feel the same level of pain or hurt from undefined relationship or unambiguous relationships just as much as they'll feel from actual relationships that existed, right? It could be preventable, right? It's absolutely preventable if you guard your heart. You know, the Bible says in Proverbs 4:23 to guard your heart above all else, because from it flows all issues of life, right? You know, happiness flows from your heart, joy flows from your heart, sadness flows from your heart, depression, all of it flows from your heart. And it does not only affect the relationship per se, it affects your entire life, right? So being in a situation where you build castles in your head over things that don't exist. Some of you are already having like 3 4 children with a man that has not as much as say, Kelly, do you want to be my girlfriend? Or Kelly, would you be my girlfriend? Or Sandra, would you be my girlfriend? You've already had like 6 children with him in your mind, building castles in the end. At the end of the day, you end up shattered, right? Like the situation of the girl that I told you that was assuming that she had a relationship with my friend, right? You know, that's why you need to really make sure that you avoid a situation of uncertainty, right? Because grieving it will cause you the same pain. You're going to take the same time to grieve it just as you would take to grieve an actual relationship. And I've seen it play out so many times. I've seen people go through that so many times. And you know, it's one thing to grieve from the loss of a relationship that you know existed. In plain terms, everybody knew about it, but it's another ball game entirely to be suffering from a heartbreak of a relationship that never existed in the first place. In other words, it's one thing to chop breakfast or get heartbroken from a relationship that was clearly defined, but it's another level, the level of heartbreak from a relationship that didn't even exist, that you were dating yourself, one-sided relationship. That's a total different thing entirely. And so we definitely need to avoid that, right? But now I want us to talk about something, because not all undefined relationships are created equal. There are two major types that I want us to look at, right? So let's look at that right now. Okay, so let's talk about the two types of undefined relationships, right? I want us to talk about two different forms of relationship ambiguity, because I feel like lumping all of them together does a disservice, because understanding what particular scenario, right, will be able to have you understand how to respond or to deal with them, because even though they're both undefined, they both do not have the same response, right? So let's talk about the first one, the genuinely nice guy. This is like the case of the friend I was telling you about, somebody who's just too outgoing, too sweet, too invested and all of that, and ends up getting people in love with them or getting people romantically attached when they didn't mean any harm, they didn't intend to do that. But the fact that they didn't know them does not mean or does not remove the consequences of whatever, right? The fact that you didn't know does not change the effect of something on someone, right? So, but yeah, they didn't mean anything like that. They just did not know that consistent attention to someone of the opposite sex, consistently calling, checking, showing up, being there, being sweet, being touchy sometimes, being huggy and all of that to someone of the opposite sex too much can like lead to bonding, right? And they didn't know that. And that's something that all of us should understand. Know that attention breeds affection. I'll say that again. Attention breeds affection. That's why you see when it comes to like somebody that's even married, right? You see somebody that swore that he or she would never cheat on their partner, but at the end of the day, they find themselves in situations that they cheated, not because they intended to, but because they allowed attention without boundaries from the opposite sex. Maybe say a co-worker at work when you're a married man or a married woman, and then every time you go, you talk with them, they come to your office, you're born, talk, laugh for hours, talk and be patting each other, doing all of these things. Or maybe you're even, and maybe at some point, maybe you're even facing issues at your home, and then you come to confide in them all the time. Somebody of the opposite sex, you talk to them all the time, share those things, they console you, you all are bonding, and that attention tends to breed affection. And before you know it, you've crossed the lines, right? That's not even because you wanted to. Honestly, sometimes some people don't want to. That's why appropriate boundaries are important, because the way the human body is wired, this oxytocin, you remember the body hormone I talked about last time in the Soul Ties episode, right? And if you've not watched it, definitely you should go check it out. And that bonding hormone oxytocin, it's created automatically when you begin to spend a lot of time with someone, attention from someone. That's how the human body is wired. We are wired for bonding, right? So if you do not want to bond with certain people, don't just give them that affection. Don't just give them that time, because attention breeds affection. So to the genuinely nice, kind human being, man or woman or whatever, in as much as it's good to be sweet, it's good to be loving, it's good to be kind, you have to maintain the appropriate boundaries. Know what to do and what not to do with someone. You cannot be talking with me every day, several hours on call every day, and then calling me my love and all of that, and then you think I'm not be falling. The lover girl in me is gonna fall. That's why I'd never like really want to get any attention from somebody that I'm not remotely interested in, right? I would not even put myself in such a situation. So don't do that, right? And to the girl too that is on the receiving end of the kindness, the attention, the all of it, right? If you're on the receiving end of that, not all of it is always somebody who's interested in you. And I totally understand how we are built, right? And if you're beginning to feel like it's not helping you, if you're beginning to feel like you're in love and the person has not said something to you, he's not said to you that I want you to be my girlfriend, right? There are two things that you can do at this point. If you're bold enough, you can walk to him and tell him that, okay, I need clarity with whatever is going on, because I'm not comfortable with the dynamic that we have going on, right? Ask him for clarity if you're comfortable doing that. Otherwise, just pull away. That's something that I'll do. I'll just pull away. Pull away, and if he notices that you've pulled away, he definitely, if he valued the friendship, if he assumed it was just friendship and valued it, he's definitely gonna come and ask you, you don't talk to me as often, you don't pick my calls anymore, what's going on? And then you're gonna tell him exactly how you felt, right? I even remember this story of a lady on Instagram. I think her name is Joyful something. The Joyful something. I remember she shared one time. So I think it was even a friend that shared it with me, that the person she's married to, right, her husband, how she met her husband, they met in their church and they were attending the same church at that time, and the guy just got attracted to her. They got a bond. They just built this bond. They were always together all the time, in church, out of church. They were chilling, and both of them felt the connection, that they were connected to each other, they were attracted to each other, but the guy wasn't saying anything, right? So even the pastor of the church noticed that, oh, you're too close. He asked her that, okay, are you having a relationship with this brother? I said, no, he has not said anything to me yet. The pastor told her to go and ask him, now what does he want, right? Because the pastor was like, he'll probably be blocking her chances from getting other suitors because people seeing her with him all the time will already assume that, oh, he's dating her, right? So she decided to of course go ask, and then he said, I really like you, I'm attracted to you and all of that, but I'm not ready for a relationship at this point, right? And then she did what the pastor told her next, to withdraw, like withdraw their attention, stop being with him all the time, stop talking to him all the time. And she did just that, right? And then the space that they were apart affected him so much because he was already getting attached as well. And then he did the right thing, right? So if you're as bold as the joyful girl on Instagram, you can do that. You can do that. You can do that. Or if you don't want to go and talk to him and ask him what it is that is going on, or seek the clarity, you can just pull away, right? So this is the first dynamic of undefined relationship. Now let's talk about the second type of undefined dynamic, the strategic ambiguity guy. This is that kind of guy that is probably in talking stages with like five ladies at the same time and not defining anything with any of them, collecting the benefits from multiple relationships without any commitment. And the funny thing is that there are several Christian brothers on this table. You think that because they are Christian, in quotes, they are quote unquote Christians, or you met them in church, they should be better, right? But there's several times that sisters have found out in church that they were in some form of situationship with the same brother, several sisters. So he'll be doing that kind of thing, maybe calling you pet names, calling you my love, my baby, making you feel special, doing all of that. He even maybe coming to eat at your house, receiving all the benefits. And some of you ladies who be doing more than you should be doing, who wants to be doing too much, you be cooking food and taking to him, and that's how the other sisters are also cooking and taking to him. Maybe you're helping him do his laundry. All of you who do too much, let me not even get into this one now because I'm going to end up talking too much, right? So he's intentionally, strategically doing that so that he has the benefits of multiple relationships without any commitment, without nothing being defined, without any accountability, right? And even in some cases, there are guys who are also strategic about this, even if they are talking to just you alone, right? He can still be talking to just you, but doesn't want to define it because he's not that into you. He's not that into you, but he wants to keep access to you. He wants the benefits of a relationship without being committed to you because he's not that into you. He wants to keep you around as much as possible, and you feel his emotional void, you feel his emotional need, get the affection, the attention, everything else, while he's on the search for someone else, while he's on the search for his actual type, right? So when he finally meets his type now, he can definitely leave you and know that, okay, after all, I didn't tell her to be my girlfriend, so whatever, and that's how they keep stringing you along, on and on. Some go on for months, some go on for even years. I was surprised the other day when a sister of mine in church was telling me about her mentee. Her mentee has been in a situationship for 2 solid years with this man that she's attracted to, she's in love with, and the guy doesn't want to be with her, but also doesn't want to let her go. He doesn't want to be with her. He doesn't want to have a relationship with her, be committed to her. But always, he'll hit her up all the time. Oh, can we go eat out? Can we go have ice cream? Can we hang out? Talk all the time and all of that. On and off and on and off. Like, you don't want a relationship with me. Why do you want to keep hanging out with me all the time? Why? Why do you want us to go hang out? Why do you want us to go on dates? Why? Right? And the poor girl will be there, probably say, okay, maybe he's not just ready right now. You know how we are good at making excuses, especially us lover girls, huh? We'll make excuses from here to tomorrow for someone's bad behavior. We'll be like, let me just hang around. If he's still hanging out with me, if he likes going out with me, probably, maybe he's just not in a good place right now to have a relationship. Maybe let me just hang around for a little bit longer. Maybe by the time he's the 3rd year, he will see that I've been so nice to him, and then he can finally decide to have a relationship with me. Like, girl, come on. Girl, come on. You were just wasting your time. Get yourself out of that situationship. Get yourself out of that undefined dynamic. You are worth more than that. You are absolutely worth more than that. A man who wants you will not leave you guessing. A man who wants you will not string you along for 2 whole years without making his stance clear. I think I heard this quote from Bishop T.D. Jakes. He said something that a man who wants you, a man who genuinely wants you, will make it plain. He'll not leave you guessing because he doesn't want other men to think that they stand a chance. Do you get? A man who wants you will tell you as soon as possible that, oh girl, I want you. I want to get locked in. I want you. So that he doesn't want other men to feel that they have a chance. Because he'll understand that if he leaves it undefined with you and then you all are just going with the flow, whatever, and another man comes along, you're going to move on with that man, right? And if he genuinely wants you and sees a future with you, he will not want that. So you see that situationship you're playing. And some of you even are sleeping with them in the situationships. Oh my God. Girl! Ah! Just the thought of it pisses me off, right? Some of you are sleeping with them, even in the undefined dynamic. So it's not just your heart that is on the line for heart, but your body too is on the line. You're giving your body for something that's not even defined. I know that here we preach about abstinence and all of that, but like, even if you decide to fornicate and all of that, like, do it in a defined relationship and stuff. And some of you wait for when you're sleeping with him, one of those moments when you've slept with him and you're laying there now, you decide to say, now what are we? Oh, wait for when he's going to tell you that we are pencils and erasers in the hand of the Lord. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So you see, leaving yourself in unambiguous situations, so all these undefined dynamics will not help you. We as women, we attach a lot, especially us lover girls, we fall in love easily, right? So you cannot keep talking with somebody all the time, and they're not saying what they want, and you think you're gonna fall in love with them and end up being stuck in a situationship, girl, right? Being stuck in a situationship. And the next thing they'll tell you to ask, what are we? And what does that help for, right? So next thing we're going to be talking about is this what are we conversation. Is it really something you should have? What's my take on the what are we right? So let's talk about that next. Okay, so if you're already in a situationship, the what are we conversation, is it something worth having? What is my take on it? Let's see. This is actually funny for me because there's an entire corner of the internet that is dedicated to teaching women or telling women how to have the what are we conversation. I searched on Google. I was shocked. You see several articles on how to have the what are we conversation, when to have it, the right time, how to phrase it, and all of that. I was like, that is crazy. And honestly, I find it really crazy because I have a totally like different perspective to it. I don't think it's okay for you to have the what are we conversation if you are in a situationship. Right? There's a relationship expert, Dr. Terry Orbeck, found out that in relationships that grow to become committed, to become strong and all of that, the definition of a relationship is almost entirely always in the hands of the man and not the woman, right? Not because the woman does not have the right to express how she feels or have it defined and all of that, but because the man is always like the leader of a relationship, right? And if a man is genuinely interested in you, you will not have to ask him that. You're not. So in other words, if you have to get to a point where you need to ask, what are we? That should already give you like part of your answer that you have. That should already give you the answer that you need. Because does that mean that you cannot ask for clarity? You definitely can ask for clarity. But there's a difference between going to say, what are we? That puts you in a very degrading place. I need clarity. I don't understand what's going on with this dynamic. I just need clarity, what is going on and stuff. Like, there's a way to phrase it, right? Or just draw back or just pull back and have them ask you, not you going to say, what are we? Because because when you're going to ask, what are we? And in most cases, you see ladies, they'll even be sleeping with the man first. And then maybe one moment when you've had a session of illegal, when you've had a crazy session of illegal bedmatics, you now come and say, so what are we? And then he's going to tell you, oh, you know how I feel about you. Of course, they always have vague answers to tell. They say, oh, you know how I feel about you. Oh, you know you're very special to me. All those, they'll say the popular one, we are pencils and erasers in the hands of the Almighty, right? They'll give you all those vague answers. And those vague answers are no definition. If he tells you you're very special to me, that doesn't mean nothing. That doesn't mean anything. You know how I feel about you. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. So if you have to ever get to a point where it feels like you need to ask what are we, just draw back, just pull back. And if he's intentional about you, he's going to come and ask you and have the relationship defined, have it clarified. Let me say this in plain terms. Ladies, listen. If you have to ask what are we, that is already your answer. If you have to ask what are we, that is already your answer. That you're not, he's not that into you. He's not that into you, because a man who is into you will move mountains to be with you, to make you feel seen, to make you feel special, to make you feel like you're the only woman in the world. And leaving you to ask, what are we? It's not moving mountains for you, is it? I don't think it is, right? In plain terms, I do not think it's okay for you to have the what are we conversation. If you're already in a situationship, just pull back. Just pull back. And if he's actually somebody who wants you, he's going to make the move and make it right, okay? And now let's talk about how to like guard your heart or protect your heart from some things that you can do to guard your heart from getting into situationships in the first place, all right? There's some few steps I want us to look at that next. Okay, so quickly, let's talk about how to guard your heart to avoid getting into situationships in the first place, right? So I'll give you some few things to look out for so that you do not get yourself in situationships. Number one, decide your boundaries before emotions are involved, right? The worst time to decide what you not accept or what you not want in a relationship is when you're already entangled and when you're already in love, right? Decide when you're clear-headed. How long are you willing to stay in an undefined situation? How long? How long do you want to tell talking stage to go? How long? What is it that you're going to accept or what is it that you're not going to accept? Define all of those things, because if you don't have them in place, you're definitely going to end up in a situationship. I don't know what people are doing in talking stage for 3 months. What are you doing in talking stage for 3 months, 6 months? Like, it does not make any sense. A talking stage should not be that long. Talking stage is just to have some few conversations to vet to see if this is somebody that I want to eventually get to know. Because even the dating itself is not final. It's not certain that you have to marry them, right? Even the dating relationship is not final. So why are you in a talking stage for 6 months, talking every day and bonding every day? I heard Pastor Lawrence Oyo say one time that if you're talking to someone every day, you're already in a relationship. Like, I know that can sound like it's a bit too far, but that's almost the truth. Because talking to someone every day, you're getting attached to them. Even if you're like just calling it talking stage, and then very, very soon they say, oh, I'm walking out of the talking stage, when you're already attached. So decide your boundaries. Oh, I'm not doing talking stage more than a month. I'm not doing talking stage more than this long. And stick to it, right? Number two, do not accept behavior reserved for girlfriend if you are not his girlfriend, right? Daily calls. Like, don't call me for 4 hours. What are we talking for 4 hours if you're not my boyfriend? What do you want to be talking? Do you want to talk about the problems of the country? You want to talk about... Don't call me for that long. I don't even want to talk to you every day if you're not my boyfriend. When you're not God, it's only God and your man that you should be talking to every day. Don't accept pet names, oh, my love, my baby, and all of that. I know, honestly, I'm a very, very romantic person as well. There are certain friends of mine that we call each other like boo and stuff, hey boo and stuff. But like, there are certain things that if you know that it's gonna like get you to feel a certain way, like the one that I draw the line on is like on my love. Like, you're calling me your love as in how? Like, I'm not your love. I'm not. Yeah, you love me as a friend. That's okay, but don't call me my love. Don't call me my baby. I'm not your baby. I'm not your baby. So do not accept like girlfriend things from somebody you're not in a relationship with. Overly pet names, affection, maybe talks all the time, maybe holding of hands. I know those public display of affection in the name of... Do not accept that, because they're gonna definitely put you in a situationship, okay? Number three, name what you are not comfortable with early, right? Name what you're not comfortable with early. Not like you're trying to create an ultimatum or give him just name the things that you're not comfortable with early on time. Like, tell him that, oh, I'm not comfortable hanging out all the time. I'm not comfortable talking after this kind of time. I'm not comfortable with you pulling up on my house every time. I'm not comfortable with this. I'm not comfortable with that. Like, name those boundaries, not being dramatic, right? Like, I just want to be sure that we're on the same page. Before whatever we are making up. Tell them it's your life. You deserve clarity. Okay? Just make it clear way before time. Make it clear. You don't have to even feel any bad for doing that, okay? And number 4, watch also for consistency between words and actions, right? Because there's some men that will just be they will just be there sweet talking you with words, sweet talking you with words, swaying you, getting you all in, getting you to fall in love, but their actions are actually saying otherwise. And actions here is like taking initiative, right? So even if you're telling me, oh, I love you, calling me baby, you calling me, oh, you're this very special person to me, and then you're not able to take the actions of asking me out officially, of asking me to be your girlfriend, if you're unable to take that bold step, you're not bold enough to do that, then it means your words and your actions don't match. And if the actions and words are standing here, I'll always go for actions more than words. If you're saying something else and your actions are showing me something else, I will believe what the actions are showing me. Because if you wanted me that much, you definitely will tell me, right? So watch for consistency between their actions and their words. If their words don't match their actions, that's your sign, girl. That's your sign. And number 5, remember that clarity is not aggression. So women feel like seeking for clarity, it means, oh, I'm pushing for the relationship, or I seem like I'm desperate, or I seem like I'm the one who wants the relationship and all of that. Nope, not at all. Not at all. You deserve clarity. You deserve clarity. You deserve to be in a space where you know exactly what is going on, right? So clarity is not being aggression. You're not pushing. You're not trying to go all ahead of him. No, clarity is just something that it's required for both of you, so you know exactly what you're in, right? So protect your space, protect yourself by establishing clarity. That is not even a problem, okay? So these are the ways that you guard your heart from getting into a situationship, from having to end up asking, what are we? Or from having to end up maybe in a terrible place or being heartbroken over something that never existed, right? So you ask clarity. So, dear single Christian girl, if someone wants you, like really wants you, they will not leave you guessing. They'll make it plain with their words, with their action, with everything. They'll make it plain that I want you. All right. So listen and listen good. I'll say this just once and for all. If he never opened his mouth to say, I want you to be my girlfriend, or would you be my girlfriend, never assume that you're in a relationship. It doesn't matter if he's talking to you 10 hours in a day. It doesn't matter if he drives to your place and brings you food. It doesn't matter if you guys hang out. It doesn't matter if you've met his friends. It doesn't matter if they're calling you our wife. There is no relationship. If he didn't ask you, do not assume, okay? And if he does not ask you, guard your heart. Not out of bitterness, not getting closed off, but guard your heart to protect your space, protect your peace, because you deserve clarity. And any man that wants you will definitely let you know that he wants you, okay? So this is it for this conversation, and I hope it helped you. And I promise you, if you liked this conversation, you'd probably like the episode we did on soul ties and breaking away from them, and why you don't seem to forget him even though the relationship ended. So check that out in the playlist for season 2, and also check other videos on the channel. I promise you, there's always some things to learn. If this is your first time coming across this, there are several episodes already that you can go and binge watch and learn, right? And definitely do well to subscribe to the channel. This is your support to me. Subscribe to the channel, right? So that YouTube sees that there are people engaging with this channel. Subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, share with your sisters. Sharing is kind, right? Sharing is caring. And if you're listening on Spotify, or you're listening on Apple Podcasts, or any of the other audio platforms, do well to follow us and give us a 5-star rating, okay? And thank you for always coming to hang out with me. And the link for question is still going to be in the description below. I've not seen any questions like in the past few weeks. Have you guys not been having any questions? Ask questions about anything. It doesn't have to be at the top about the topic we talked about, because our questions and answer episode continues. Every last episode of the month is a question and answer episode, okay? So feel free to ask about anything. Remember, the link is anonymous, so I don't know it's you. I'm just gonna pick the questions and answer it, right? So definitely make sure you check the description box for the question link so that you can send in your questions, okay? And until next time, keep thriving and know that I love you and I'm rooting for you. Bye.